Hi there and welcome back to Loopy Mabel Vintage Style Crochet. My name is Jane, and if you love vintage style and you love crochet, then this is the perfect channel for you. I try to add a little bit of vintage touch to all the crochet designs that I do, and hopefully you enjoy them too. If you're new here, hello, and don't forget to subscribe, then you'll never miss any videos that I do bring out. And today's tutorial, I have been making this lovely ruffle flower. I've turned it into a brooch, but the tutorial is to show you how you can make this ruffle flower, and then you can add it as an embellishment, add it as a brooch, or add it to a bag, or add it to your hair. Just ideas really. But this week I've also been doing a bit of sewing, and I made this dress out of some French linen I had, some French chambray linen I had, and self-drafted. I just made it up as I went along, and I just thought it needed just something to lift the colour, and I've made this ruffle flower into a brooch, and I just think it makes that dress, just gives it that something different. And I've added it to a brooch pin so I can just take it on and off when I'm laundering my blouse. So if you can see, I've got the ironing board behind me, I've got my iron, I've got both my machines here, and yeah, I've been really enjoying getting my sewing back out again. So I thought, well, I'll show you what I've been making this week, which is my self-drafted tunic style top, and then I thought I'd show you a tutorial on maybe how you could embellish, use your leftover yarns and make something to wear with your outfits. So if you'd like to make one, please stay tuned. I'll be back here in a moment. Right, so in today's tutorial I'm going to be adding a ruffle flower brooch. I'm going to be making it for this dress that I've made. It's like a smock dress I've made in like a French chambray fabric, and I just wanted to make something that just to lift the colours out, and I found some yarn that I've had hanging around that I've used for previous tutorials. This is the Stylecraft Special Alpaca Double Knit, and I just thought the three of those colours together, just to show you, goes quite well. So I'm going to use the three balls together, but you don't have to, you just use any yarn you want, but I'm going to go with three colours today. And this is a double knit yarn, so I'm going to use three colours, and I'm going to use a 9mm crochet hook. I've got some scissors, darning needles to sew in the ends, and I've got a brooch finding that I'm going to add to the back of the brooch, and then obviously add it to my dress, and then I can take it on and off for when I'm laundering it. So that's what I'm going to be using today. So let's begin. Right, so depending on what size flower you want to achieve, it's a number of chains that you need to make. So I want a fairly big chunky statement piece, so I'm going to chain 35, and because I'm using the 3 strands and this 9mm hook, it's going to give me quite a big chunky piece. But obviously if you're using a smaller hook and thinner yarn, you may want to chain a few more. It's really up to you. So obviously I'm going to chain 35. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there we go, I've got 35 chains. And that will give you an idea of how big the flower is going to be. If you just coil up the chain that you've done. So I've got the coiled up, and it's going to be probably double that size by the time we've added our petals, so that is big enough for me. So do your chain, coil it up like I have, and then whatever the size of your coil is, it's probably going to be double that size of your coil, your flower. So that's, and it gives you a rough idea of how big or small you can make your flower. Right, so I've got 35 chains, and I'm now just going to chain 6 more. And I'm going to go down into the 6th chain from my hook, insert my hook, create a double crochet, and then I'm going to go down into the back of that double crochet that we've just made there. So we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then I'm going to insert my hook into the back part of that double crochet, so into that back part there, insert your hook and slip stitch. So there we've got 1, 2 petals, and we're going to do 5 more chains, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back down into that same stitch there, slip stitch, and that gives us 3 petals in that same stitch, and that's our first petal. So we're going to go down into our next chain, insert your hook and work a double crochet. If you're watching from the US, that would be a single crochet, and then we're just going to repeat that. So we're going to do 5 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, working down into the back of that double crochet into the back part, insert your hook and slip stitch, chain 5, work back down, slip stitch, and one more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, work back down and slip stitch. So again we've got like 3 loops to form our petal, and then we go along onto the next chain, insert your hook and work a double crochet. And then we chain 5, go down into the back part of that double crochet, so the back part of it there, insert your hook and slip stitch, chain 5, insert your hook and slip stitch, chain 5, and insert your hook for that final slip stitch of that petal. And again you should have 3 chain loops, and you just repeat this all the way along, working a double crochet into the next chain, then chain 5, then slip stitch, chain 5, slip stitch, chain 5 and slip stitch, and then just work into the next with a double crochet and repeat all the way along. So it should start to create like a ruffle effect. So if you continue all the way along to the end of your chain, no matter what number you have got, so continue exactly the same as me all the way along to the end of your chain, and I'll see you back here, and then I'll show you how to finish off your ruffle flower. Right, so I've finished my chain and it looks like that, really ruffly. It's exactly what I'm looking for. And I'm just going to finish off, so I need to leave some yarn to sew it together. So I'm just going to leave a fairly long piece of yarn there, and I'm just going to pull it through to secure it. I'm just going to thread my yarn onto a darning needle. Probably use the biggest one I've got. I'm going to use all 3 yarns. There we go. And all you do, I mean there is a right side and a wrong side, but it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to try and use the right side facing, so you can see the chains, fronts of the chains are facing me there, as opposed to the back where they've got the like lumps at the back. So there's the front of the chain, so I'm going to keep the front of the chain facing me. Now it can be a little bit fiddly to start, and all I'm going to do is get the centre one and bring it in on itself to the beginning, and then I'm just going to coil slowly. I'm just going clockwise, and then I'm going to stop there, keep my finger on the centre, and from the back I'm just going to take my needle and just go through some of the petals that I've just tucked in, catching through all the layers and through the centre, and then you just do another twist, tucking it in, and then hold on to it, turn it over, and then just insert your thread through the layers again. Just catch all the layers and bring your needle through. And then I'm just going to twist it again. Tucking it in, unraveling it. And then I'm happy with that, so I'm just going to hold on to it, turn it over, get my needle, and then just go through, feel all the layers, bring my needle through, and then work through the next section. Can be a bit fiddly, but persevere, it is well worth it. And then just go through one more section. And go. And then just keep on winding. There we go, I'm at the end now, so I'm quite happy with that. You might have to adjust your ruffles, keep twisting them so you get them straightened out. You can feel that chain that you started off with, and I'm happy with that, so hold on to that, and then insert your needle through the layers. Bring the needle back through, catching the layers as you go around, and just double check that you've got the shape that you want before you finish off. That's my last one there. That's how it looks at the back. And once you're happy with the shape, then you just need to fasten off your yarn on the back. So it's nice and secure. and just trim your yarn. And there's the back, and there's our front. Pretty is that. I'm just going to attach, so I'm just going to attach my brooch finding to the back. You don't have to, you could just use a safety pin, or you could even stitch the whole thing on to whatever you're going to attach it to, but because I want to take mine on and off for laundering, and also I can swap it and put it on other outfits, I'm going to attach this brooch finding. It's only a small one, I could have done with a bigger one, but that's all I've got in my craft box, so this will do just fine. And I'm going to attach it towards the top of the flower rather than the centre, so then when it does hang, it hangs down rather than if you put it in the centre, sometimes it can be heavy and it could like tilt on your blouse or whatever you're wearing it on. So I'm going to sew it towards the top and then it can't tilt. I'm just going to make sure I've got the right weight. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm just going to attach it to the top part. So I've just got a needle and thread, just ordinary cotton, and there we've got our brooch finding. And here's my dress that I made, and that's going to go on there. And how lovely and vintage looking is that? So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today on making this ruffle flower. Obviously you don't have to use 3 strands of yarn, and you can use any size hook, any number of chains, and adapt it to what you need. But I wanted something big and bold, a statement piece, and I think that's exactly what I've got. If you did like this tutorial, please don't forget to give me that lovely thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because then I'll know that you want me to keep on making these videos for you. If there's anything you'd like me to cover, please drop me a note in the box below. Anything at all, anything crochet related you'd like me to maybe do a tutorial on, then let me know and I'll try and do my best. So if you follow me on Instagram, then you'll also be able to keep up to date with all the things that I'm up to for that week, and then gives you an idea of what the tutorials are going to be. But I love adding my own touch to anything I do, and I hope you do too. And just by creating something so simple out of all your scrap yarns, how effective is that? And I'm definitely going to be doing more sewing too, so I'll probably keep you up to date on my sewing antics as well. But until the next time, as I always say, practice does make perfect, and please take care and happy crochet.